Hey everyone, Glimpse here again, back with another video, this time on how to make money in Darkstory Online. I get this question a lot, so I'm going to focus heavily on the mid to lower level, and I reached out to all my friends on here, and that's including Sonya Fire, Pat Zito, Wars, Arexiel, ZooXD, Alco, Ojitos, and many others. So these first two, you don't have to leave Essia City. This is the place you arrive after the beginning island. This first one you need 300 skulls for a recipe. The other recipe you should have already, the bread recipe. These two bushes are right outside where our next recipe is going to be at. They're just like the beginning island. If you slash them, they drop wheat and an Essia flower seed. You also have a chance of getting 3 of them, up to 3 of them. So why I say that, if you go in here. Alright, so once you're inside this building, click the NPC up here and buy the pink flower. Once you have that, if you notice, it takes 3 wheat to make 1 bread, 2 of the seeds to make 1 flour. If you're trying to sell the wheat back to the NPC or the seed, the wheat costs 1, the seed costs 3. However, once you craft them, the bread now sells for 5, and the pink flour now sells for 10. 2 skull profit, 4 skull profit. Not fancy, pretty boring, but you don't have to leave this area. And my average, I did 5 2-minute runs. So over that 10-minute period, I got 947 skulls. So if you average that out, it's just a little over 5k an hour. Not bad. You can actually buy level 20 gear and under for that, and maybe have some money left over for potions. So yeah, not too bad for this little spot here. Alright, so this next method is slower than the first one, but again, you don't have to leave Essia City. If you walk up to where this building is that has a little wizard hat, talk to Jesse inside, shop, tools, and then pick up the pickaxe. It's only 30 skulls, so not too bad. You can pick up the hatchet too, but tree cutting is slower when you first start off. And before we do anything, if you want to bring up your profession system, press T. For most professions, you want to put at least 1 in the double category to give you a chance. Mining is no different. For this character, this is an older character, and I didn't know. So if you just put at least 1 point in here when you start, so you can give yourself a chance at double mining. After that, I recommend EXP and sale price, but we can get into that later. Just know you at least want 1 in here. Now, mining went through a big change last year. You used to be able to get to the bronze, silver, and gold mines all from the same NPC, but now each town has its own. For example, Essia City has bronze, Golden has silver, etc. And because of that, each map has a different color, but it's the same setup. But each one of the ores in the maps are a different spawn time. So bronze is the quickest, so I'll show you the route that I go. Now each of these do sell for 7 a piece. If you craft them, they sell for the same amount times 3. So it's only if you want to craft them or keep them for gear, but for a selling standpoint, you can just sell the bronze straight up. Most people don't buy the bronze, so I would just sell the NPC. Now this is slower. I did the same 5 of the 2-minute runs over a 10-minute time period, and I was only averaging about 577 for 10 minutes. So if you go for an hour, it's about 3.4k. So a little bit slower, but there's benefits. You can get achievements doing this. You can get your profession level up. If you don't like the other way, you can do this way. It's a little bit more chill, kind of relaxing to me at least. But anyways, this route's a short route, because as you can see, our first one already respawned down there. So yeah, not too bad of a method. Silver is better, and we can get into that a little bit later. Before we get in this next part I didn't mention, because I already filmed this part, is the reason this one's slower and you make less money is because the mining and tree cutting professions, they cost mana to swing. So if you looked at my mana down here, the 98, it's 10 per, and each potion in the very beginning costs 2 to buy. So you have to figure that into when you're selling the bronze, and that's how I factored it in. Alright, so this next method is boss hunting. The first one that's really good to start off with is Bongrim. He's level 25 and he's at the Gaia Cave. So if you open up your map, go to Essia, and from there go right, and then down one in Bongu territory. This NPC I'd recommend actually getting his quest here too. It's a repeatable quest, and that's another way to save money. You get potions every time you finish this quest, mana and HP potions, so that's just don't have to buy them. Eventually you will run out, but it will save you money in the long run. So anyways, get the quest. Before you go actually see him, you have to get these poisonous shoes. Those are located at the Essia blacksmith. You have to forge them. They're not too difficult. They're actually a good shoe to have. Give you good endurance and good health at the same time. So if you look here, Bongrim has a 100% drop rate of this Bongrim mushroom. It sells for 500 skull at every NPC. You only need 3 in the very beginning for a mastery spell. You can sell the rest. The festival ticket's a little bit more of a rare drop, so save it right now. It is one of our money making methods we'll go over in a later video. The buffs, I would just hotkey them to help kill Bongrim quicker. For example, I have mine down here. The mushroom hat and star, if you're lucky enough to get the mushroom hat, it's a great hat. It's not necessary. The gray star is, however, and it drops more than the equipment, about 4 to 1 in my testing. The golden crystal you can actually sell for 3k at the NPC, but I would recommend just keeping a few of them. You need some for forge and questing later on, but if you really do want to sell them, 3,000 is a pretty good price for them. Out of these stones, the one you want to see the most is this one right here. The other 2 are not really needed. These sell to mages. Some buy them for 10k up to 20k. So they're good for trading and just making skull in general. The next are hats. Instead of crafting them or buying them, you can get one for your class, or you can sell them for 100 skull. So between all these, it's pretty nice per hour, and we'll actually go over on how to defeat them. Alright, so Bongrim is pretty simple. Avoid his floor spell right here. It will do consistent damage to you. You can just spawn one little buddy at a time. If you're green, don't walk, because you have poison damage, and you will die pretty quickly. So try to stay in one spot, or just move one tile up, one tile down. Rinse, repeat. They're pretty simple. Alright, so your next boss is at level 30. That's King Gumy. He's in the Ricoan cave. The bottom entrance is the quickest way to get to him. If you open up your map, go to Essia, 1 right, 1 up to deviation. There's a pair of stairs here, go to the right, and that's where this little cave is. So let's bring up his card. Just like Bongrim, he has a 100% drop rate on this item here, King Gumy helmet, but it sells for 1k instead of 500. So once you have access to King Gumy, this is a really good way of making money. Probably my favorite from level 30 to 40. This you only need, just like Bongrim, you only need 3 of these for the mastery spell, and then you need a couple more for equipment later on, but not too many. So I'd recommend just selling them when you can. He has access to a couple other good things, just like Bongrim too. This will give you to a new area. Also drops 100% of the time. This is good for crafting. The helmet's also decent. Now you can save money on the forging, because at level 30 you have to forge your own weapon. So if you happen to get it for your class, this is sweet. Otherwise you can just sell it for 300 skull, so that's not too bad. Super Snail's nice for the buff. You don't have to craft that either if it drops. Now, unlike Bongrim, he actually drops 2 useful stones instead of just 1. And these sell around the same as the other one, 10 to 20k depending on who's buying. Also drops a star you're going to need, and an Eye of Gumby, which is also 100% drop rate, and that's good for the soup here. Alright, let's go fight him. Alright, King Gumy's main attack here, you'll notice up in the right hand corner, your keyboard's not broken. You just shut off all my spells except for my basic attack. So it'll last for a few seconds, but yeah, your keyboard's not broken. I thought the first time something was wrong with the game or me, but it's just this boss right here. It's messing with you. So anyways, he has a stun spell. Can summon a little dude, and not much else. Pretty simple boss. He does smack you kind of hard, so just be a little bit careful. Recommend some defense buffs to help with it. Alright, there we go. One thing I forgot to mention with the Bongrim, each of these bosses drop a money stack too, so it just helps in the end. And this cave does not have a repeatable quest, but if you go to the left, you can face the Necro Bear, and he drops some stuff for crafting later and a Mage Stone. Then to the right, the Stokium, he drops the Fighter Stone, STR, but this one will also stun you. I recommend being a couple levels above him. Also nice for the Trico Sap for later on. Yeah, that was King Gumy.